Right before coming here, I was a research assistant at the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. Before that, I was at the World Bank as a junior professional associate in the Latin American department. But before both of those, I was everything. I was a busboy, a host, I was a pizza maker, whatever it took to get through college. I come from a very small town in Brazil, a 5,000 people city in the middle of Brazil, the state of Mato Grosso. That's where I was born. My family's from another small town in Minas Gerais. And in smaller cities, politics are much more evident in our daily life. And I was raised in that environment, and I realized, when the time came for me to figure out what I want to do with my life, that I have a very strong inclination toward public service. And when thinking of public service, the Kennedy School is the ideal place that comes to mind, and that's why I applied and why I'm here. Certainly, you always find faculty where with whom you have closer interests with, and you have a better chance to get even closer to those. I strongly recommend pursuing perhaps becoming a course assistant for a class. That gives you an even extra advantage or opportunity. To say advantage is not necessarily the right word. To get to know them better on a personal level, take them for lunch. On a semester basis, we have Take a Faculty for Lunch program where you can just invite faculty, meet in a smaller group of students. So we have a very close relationship with them, and that's much appreciated. The students are great. I mean, it's a very diverse school. We have, in the MPP program, great majority of the students are Americans, but they're diverse within the U.S. The U.S. in itself is a great, is a big country. But then we also have a great share of the class that is international. But beyond that, I think at the end of the day, we really look at the Kennedy School as a whole. And as a whole, you have other programs that are even more diverse, from both perspectives, internationally speaking, culturally speaking, racially speaking, ideologically speaking. And I think that's very important for an environment like this. The workload is the tough part. Huh? It's very heavy, but we learn, I guess, very quickly in a forced way how to prioritize based on our interests and how to make sure that we get through what we really want to get through and are able to succeed. I mean, it's frankly impossible, for us as students to do every single thing we want to do because there's just a lot that can be explored. But I think the first challenge students go through as they get here is how to realize what is it that I really want to get out of this. And if you have that answer, your life will be much easier. A typical day here is, I think it varies person to person, but I normally spend my entire day around here, regardless of whether I am in class or not. After class, I just hang around, chat with people. There are places here where I like to study. So normally I leave the house early, come back at night. Some students like to, go back and forth and, have an activity here and there. For me, I really just enjoy staying around for the day, regardless of whether I'm in class or not. For students that are thinking of applying, I strongly recommend them to reflect upon their own personal and professional experiences and truly ask themselves what is it that they can do to make their community better, their workplace better, whatever it might be. And reflect on that with themselves first, and perhaps try to put that on your application and make that very clear. I cannot emphasize enough how important that message is in terms of getting here. I really believe, and I think personally that was my case, that the key part is to be coherent with yourself and have a purpose as to why do you want to be here and what is it that you want to get out of here and how is this going to make you become a better person, both personally, professionally, and academically. So get that answer right, and good luck. For the admitted students, again, welcome. I'm pretty sure you're going to soon realize how friendly the environment is. The piece of advice I would give is really reach out to the people who are already here and ask them everything that might come to your mind. One thing that we take for granted is that people struggle, especially with the workload initially. We have a hard time, trying to balance things out, and that might have, to do with the fact that we're not yet sure on what the priorities should be or are and so forth. But other people have gone through that same struggle, and you really should seek out for help, and not only the other students but also faculty and things like that. And it's not a shame to admit that you're struggling in some way, and it's going to make your life a lot easier if you just reach out for help.